ធម្មធំដោយ Gas ម៉ាស៊ីនត្រជាក់ ឌូផុន របស់សហរដ្ឋអាមេរិក ឈានមកគេនៅក្នុងឧស្សាហកម្មបរិក្ខារត្រជាក់ជាង 80 ឆ្នាំ ឌូផុន ភាពអស្ចារ្យនៃវិទ្យាសាស្ត្រ
Good evening, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Cambodia Global Dialogue of Southeast Asia TV. Tonight we'll be discussing again on the issue of the ASEAN Economic Community, which is only a few years away. Probably there'll be some delay, but it doesn't matter. The point is that by 2015, 2016, Cambodia will be part of the larger ASEAN Economic Community. It's a lot of talks, a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of fears, a lot of hope about what that EAC will mean to Cambodia. And I thought that sometimes when you discuss at a macro policy level, it's so generic, but to the life of the people, the trader, the businessman, the architect, the engineer, the accountant, it means something else for them because they are not interested in the larger country macro policy. They are interested about their life, their profession, their survival. And tonight I thought we will continue the discussion on a sectoral issue, particularly as relate to the accounting and the auditing profession. And I have the pleasure to have with me Mr. Balbeer Mangat, who is the chairman and CEO of a big educational institution, a global institution called FTMS Global. So Balbeer, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Siphana.
Yes. So I think rather than me introducing you, so why don't I give you a few minutes so that you can introduce yourself a bit. You know?
It's always difficult to introduce oneself, but I think I'll try.
Yes.
My name is Balbeer, and as you introduced, and one of the things I enjoy doing most actually is going to emerging markets.
Yes.
I'm a chartered accountant by training. I trained in the UK. I used to say I was born in Malaysia, trained in the UK, working in Singapore.
Okay.
But I think
you're truly global.
Yeah, truly. I would say that I'm really more UK eastwards.
Okay.
When you look at it in terms of my experience, and one of the things I enjoyed doing most, and I've done it over the last 27 years, is that
you don't look that old.
I'm still young at heart. Is enjoy going to new frontiers where there are very few internationally trained accountants, and the result, if one will look at the KPI, was that today the country has tens and thousands more accountants, and I say that is the success. It's not just by FTMS sowed the seeds, but many others came along, and therefore, and that is progress to me.
Yes.
You know?
So you've been 27 years in the accounting profession. What made you start this institution, the FTMS Global?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about.
Basically, the original idea came about that why not bring the same quality of training I had in the UK to the doorsteps of Asia.
I see.
During those days, from Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, mostly people went to the UK to get their chartered accountancy and so on. So I said, well, let me bring it to the doorsteps. And we started off in Singapore, and then really to make it cost effective, I felt that that same quality which we have now experienced in Singapore, to bring it to the doorstep of other countries. And that's where the emerging markets come in.
Yes.
Our biggest success, I would say 15 years ago, we started off in Vietnam.
So you started 15 years ago?
Vietnam.
Yes, in Vietnam, 15 years ago.
15 years ago. And at that time, there were two basically trained ACCA, internationally trained accountants. And today, there are about 1,000 plus.
Wow.
And therefore, I see that what we did was basically we went and there was a need for the economy to grow, for people to integrate. There was a need to do training, and I felt that an accountancy is very much the core. Whenever multinationals goes anywhere, the first person he employs is an accountant.
But the first person they check with the lawyer.
That's right. Well,
the two people.
We both together.
We're both together.
Yes.
Lawyer and accountant, which is true. But you mentioned 15 years ago, which is about 1999. At that time, Vietnam was still in the soul-searching mode, whether to join the WTO or not. That was the year I started with the Ministry of Commerce as Vice Minister of Commerce, and we were really gung-ho about negotiating our accession to the WTO. I think Cambodia, situation, particularly in the accounting auditing, probably at that time was quite similar to Vietnam, not much developed, but there's a strong need to develop the profession. When did you come to Cambodia?
We came to Cambodia many years ago. I would say about 6-7 years ago. Initially, we
still after we entered WTO. Okay.
Yeah, the large accounting firms engaged us to do training.
Okay.
And subsequently, about 2 years ago, we set up in Cambodia.
Okay.
And similarly, we did in Vietnam as well.
Yes,
Initially, we went in to train accountants from the large accounting firms, and subsequently, we set up there. And today, we train many people outside the profession as well.
Yes. Okay. So, when you set up in Cambodia, what sort of a curriculum, what sort of a program that you have here?
We basically run the ACCA program, which is divided into technical and as well as professional.
Yes.
And this program, ACCA, Association Chartered Certified Accountants,
which is a British standard?
British standard. And they are based on international accounting standards, international auditing standards.
Yes.
And therefore, it's very much global.
Yes.
And there's a 400,000 membership worldwide, student membership worldwide, and there's a large number. So the experience of ACCA has done well for emerging countries.
They are ACCA. They have representation in Cambodia.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. Sanaka Fernando.
That's right.
He's a good friend of mine.
That's right. That's right. And I would say that one of the movers, I would say shortcuts to internationalize in the accounting and finance sector is to do a qualification which is recognized worldwide and a professional body which has the experience on dealing with emerging markets. And ACCA is well placed in that area, and therefore it's easy, they understand emerging markets to be able to make sure that the deliverables are also accepted locally.
Yes. Okay. So, the sort of student that will attend your institution will be student from university or postgraduate or, existing professional?
Well, like any market we go emerging, the first movers are normally the professional accounting firms, which are international accounting firms. And the next layer that moves along is the local firms.
Yes.
And then the university students and so on and so forth. I think in Cambodia we are at the stage of whereby the retail market, the mass market, is coming on board to it. And I think that's important because not only the international firms require internationally trained accountants, the big sector in terms of the future is the SMEs.
Yes.
Because part of ASEAN integration is very important that the SMEs also step up in order to be able to engage each other's markets effectively and efficiently.
Upattam Tom Dow. Get Masin Trakia do Ponor Basarot Ambret, Chinmoke Naknung Usahakam Parika Trakia, Jing Pait Subchinam, do Pon, Pip Acha, Ne Vichisa.
Speaking about SME, I always felt that for a country like Cambodia, we are emerging, and by the way, in a few years' time, we will move from the status of least developed country to what we would call the lower middle income country. Right? So in other words, in the UN lingo will be a developing country, but still on the low end, right? So in other words, we will not be considered as a poor country as before. Still there are pockets of poverty for sure, but I think the role of the SME will be very crucial to build the economic sector. Because let's face it, there are so many but multinational, but the strength of an economy is really its own SME, right? And the context of Cambodia, I find that because it starts from scratch, there's also opportunity to skip the learning curve also, you know, because you start from scratch and suddenly you got exposed to an international standard. So why don't I go straight and study that rather than going along and then to discover later on, oh my God, there's what I study is not what is required.
I think it's important for the SME sector to understand the fact that they also got to be local,
yes,
yet regional and
yes,
global.
Yes.
It's those
yes.
steps. And therefore, the understanding of local tax,
yes.
legal engagement is very important,
yes.
because those structures will not just change and replaced by international. The whole idea of internationalization is not replacement,
yes,
is enhancement.
Yes, yes.
So enhancing the local structure to be able to enable companies to grow bigger.
Yes.
And therefore, in future, by being international level in terms of financial reporting standards,
yes.
you can be accessible to more capital.
Yes.
And therefore go global.
Yeah, you know, as a lawyer, I find that I think your profession is much easier to globalize, to get globalized, to get internationalized in terms of law, internalization of law, because, you know, transplanting, you know, it's not easy in the legal profession because of different culture, different norm and everything. But at least in your sector, this is very standardized approach already. But in the context of Cambodia, there's another dimension I think it's very important also, that as we move toward a higher economic growth, you see the emergence of potential stock market participant, IPO, right? And in the context of the ASEAN economic community, there's also another dimension that, look, you know, for you to be competitive in this globalized or regionalized world, you need to be able to deal with the big boys when they come. You know, so you shouldn't be afraid of the big company coming in. In fact, you should look at them as your potential partner or shareholder, but you have to get ready. Your accounting, your paper trail have to be in order. So what do you think of that?
I think you're very right in pointing the fact that when multinationals come to a country, they cannot be standalone.
Yes.
They cannot ignore the local segment. They got to engage the local segment to enable them to keep their costs low.
Yes.
Because if they just take a plant from the US and plant it and bring all the US labor to do it, then the whole idea of engaging Cambodia will be economically not sensible. Therefore, it's important. So therefore, it gives opportunities therefore SME sector to be able to engage with MNCs. So you're absolutely right. In order to do that, you must speak their language.
Yes.
Whether it's the international language of commerce. So therefore, finance and accounting comes in to be engaged in that, to be able to standards in terms of quality standards. You can't therefore remain local.
Yes.
I think I would have to stress that there are local standards, and we must respect. As international engagement takes place, the respect of local standards is there, but also vice versa, the respect of international standards. And it's important to understand, engage, and benefit, I think. In any engagement, people are important.
Yes.
And that's where I think comes in terms of being able to learn, whether it's language, whether it's in accounting standards.
Yes.
So you find that understanding international accounting standards, more and more different countries are moving to international accounting standards globally.
Yes.
And that actually facilitates and enhances the growth of commerce. So and I think that's the economic growth comes from that. And it very much therefore also protects the local cultures, local environment, and so on. ASEAN integration is engagement of people, not just
at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, that's the most important. And I believe that being so closely knit and travel being so easy, accessible to everybody nowadays with budget airlines, I think that engagement is being enhanced. But it's important, therefore, various segments of the economy engages as well.
Yes. Now, I see you are in 10 countries, you know, very broad, from Brunei, China, Hong Kong, India, Mauritius, all the way to even Uganda. Where do you fit Cambodia, you know, in terms of its capacity to integrate, in this case, into the ASEAN economic community. You think we're ready in a few years' time? No.
I would say if I look the barometer as the number of trained accountants,
Yes.
international trained.
With the size of the population.
The size of the population, I understand Cambodia is about 14 million
Yes.
people. Currently, there are, I would say, qualified accountants, about 150 to 200 internationally qualified local accountants.
Yes.
And they are in industry and commerce. There are about 47 registered firms with the local institute.
Oh.
So therefore, if you look at that, there is about 3 people to a firm. That by itself, the number is too small.
Too small.
Yeah. What is the right number? I would say that, and you cannot produce like instant trees accountants overnight.
Yes.
Like lawyers as well,
Yes,
you can't
yes,
produce
you
overnight.
can.
So it's a
You
matter
can.
of years of training.
Yes.
And therefore, I think it's important that from tertiary education upwards to professional level, it will take anywhere between 5 to 10 years for a person to train up. So therefore, to get to the level of about 1,000 accountants, it will take possibly another 15 years. You know. So therefore, I think it's important to start now. To get. I think it's important also to understand the local dynamics.
Yes, yes.
I think there is the good part of Cambodia is that there are many institutions, universities providing tertiary level education. And I think that means the number of spaces available is there.
Is there.
But for the young population,
Yes, yes.
which I understand is about 6 million, 6 million people under 15,
Yes.
is not enough for the future.
Ah, okay.
That's one. Number two is that currently, as the numbers are, the number of graduates produced every year is about 15,000, I understand, or plus. It's important that the quality is there.
Yeah.
And I think that by engaging, I think it's important not to fear.
Yeah.
Not to fear.
Yes.
Overseas education coming in, but to engage. We are here to not to take over. It's to supplement, enhance,
to partner,
yeah,
to
partner,
complement,
and to raise the quality.
yeah.
And I think the focus is not a quantity of accountants, important, the quality of accountants. So I think the policy, therefore, would need to encourage,
Yes.
facilitate, to be able to get those numbers up.
You know, I was in my 6th year as Vice Minister of Commerce from 1999 to 2005. I was very much behind the accession of Cambodia to WTO, and that's where you negotiate service commitment or liberalization of the various sector. And accounting is definitely one of the sector that we are pushing to open up, and we can see that 10 years after the policy to open up the sector, yes, the number is not there yet, right? But it's a good start.
It's a good
It's
start.
a good start. And the fact that your firm can open, your operation here and bring international standard education. To me, I always stress that you got to start with quantity first, right? And the market will settle.
That's right.
But then after that, you move to quality. And I'm glad that now the new Minister of Education, he's very much pro-reform. He appreciates the need to have a strong accreditation, policy, process. And to me, at the end of the day, you can only do, so much for a sector if you don't have a good accreditation, system. I believe in that, because when we join ASEAN, we have to be at least up to near, or, not yet at par, but we have to be somewhere there that, look, you can work with them. KPMG come to Cambodia, they should be able to get some good people. And nothing prevent young Cambodian to look also outward. Why you always fear the inward inflow of foreign professionals to Cambodia? The Cambodian should think that, why can I fly to and work in KL?
That's right.
Why can I go to have a nice job in Koh Samui?
Yes.
Right? I mean, if there's an opening, right?
Yes.
So that sort of economic opportunity at the regional level, right?
Oppatham Tom Dow Get Masin Traja do Pon Rabasarot Ambridge ឈានមកគេនៅក្នុងឧស្សាហកម្មបរិក្ខារត្រជាក់ជាង80ឆ្នាំឌូផុន ភាពអស្ចារ្យនៃវិទ្យាសាស្ត្រ
I think the ASEAN integration policy and the focus and push in it provides opportunities.
Yes.
Provide, again, people,
Yes.
movement of people.
Yes.
And I think that's important that for trade and commerce to prosper
Yes.
significantly,
Yeah.
it's a people engagement. And therefore, how best to do? Travel.
Yeah.
And I think it's in terms of education is the best. For example, if I look back at myself, I went off to UK to study.
Yeah.
And that 10 years in the UK, 8-9 years including my articleships and working in the UK, provided me a very good experience.
Yes.
But not only that, a lot of roots.
Yes.
And today, a lot of my business in terms of my FTMS programs, we engage UK universities. For UK is a plus, for us is a plus.
Yes, yes.
You know, and therefore I think Cambodians should go out. I
Yes.
think if you look at the models which have over 30 years experience in terms of tertiary education and professional training, engaging Western universities and professional bodies, I think that will come in useful. So it's a matter of your cost
Yes.
is lower as well. If you train in Malaysia,
Yeah.
I would say it's $1. You
Yes.
train in Singapore, it's $1 Singapore dollar.
Okay. Yeah. But that's different, right?
Difference. And
It's
you
still
train in the UK is
one,
£1. You know, but
Yeah,
at the end,
£1,
you're basically getting discount of nearly, if you compare to the UK, the same qualification, the same level of professional standards, you get it at quarter of the cost. And in Cambodia, in the future, it could be 15 cents, you know, comparatively.
Yeah,
So therefore,
comparatively,
so by engaging foreign universities, institutions locally, you also create a new business. Overseas
Yes.
students coming on to Cambodia to study.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. I haven't thought of that reverse flow, you know, because you know when you're a small country, you have this syndrome. Oh my God, we're small, we'll be submerged by the bigger one. But to me, sometimes small is beautiful. Also, small does offer certain opportunity, and you just highlight a very good point. I haven't thought about it. I have to give you credit next time I say something like that. Is that yes, you know, it go both way. Integration go both way. You know,
That's right. It's a two-way
yeah,
traffic.
it's a two-way street. You know, don't feel that it's only, you know, the outsider will overwhelm your market. That in fact, because you have a very competitive environment cost-wise, that you may be able to attract other people to come, because when they study, they will get the same accreditation as if they study in London.
That's right.
Good point. Very good point. Well, Balbeer, as always, 30 minutes fast. So we're running out of time, and I thought I'd give you a chance to have a message for the audience. Most of the people watching are a lot of craving, young Cambodian craving for knowledge, for opportunity, for ideas. And I think you have a lot of wisdom. What's your message?
I think I have this to say, is that firstly, any integration, whether it's ASEAN or global, it provides opportunities. So these opportunities in terms of people engagement will result in economic growth. What are the key components? I would say in terms of the education sector, I would say that there is a number of institutions in Cambodia. It's a new business opportunity to engage externally. To do that, one has to raise quality. And if you do it on the self-sustaining model, then it will take time. Engage, partner, and prosper. And I think that's the message I have.
All right. Well, Balbeer, thank you so much. On behalf of the studio and the audience, let me just say thank you for flying all the way from Singapore for this recording. So thank you very much, and I look forward in the future to invite you back again, and hopefully by then, Mrs. Pa, you have 1,000 CPA already.
Look forward to that.
Look forward to that, right. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the end of the show, but the message I got from Balbeer is clear that, you know, opportunity arising from economic integration are there, but you need to get ready. You need to think not just regional, you need to think global in terms of quality education. Don't fear the competition. being a small country does offer opportunity also for a reverse inflow of expertise. So in that sense, I am quite encouraged to say that at least in the context of the imminent entry to the ASEAN Economic Community in a few years' time, the accounting and the auditing profession, you're on the right track. At least you have a system, an internationally accredited system that is there for you to take advantage, is there for you to grab, there for you to get involved. But ultimately, it's all about you. Are you willing to commit yourself to suffer, to study, to slave yourself for like so many years to earn that, that internationally recognized degree? And that's your ticket for your future. And also, if there's enough number of the people of the same mind, same spirit, same commitment, that's a future of Cambodia. A small country, but an equal partner in the ASEAN Economic Community. So on that note, good learning.